Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we are hitching up and hitting the road. We're going to do a comprehensive look at trailer towing safety.
Yeah.
And whether you're someone who routinely hauls a boat, maybe a camper, or if you just share the highway with these massive commercial loads, this deep dive is absolutely for you. Our mission today is pretty straightforward. Towing turns an ordinary drive into, well, a highly complex challenge, both mechanically and tactically. It demands your full attention. So we're going to give you a shortcut to understanding the unique risks, that added length, the weight, the shifting dynamics, and more importantly, the essential strategies you need to master to keep everything safe.
And that word safe, it all comes down to stability. That's the core issue. When you attach a heavy articulated load behind your vehicle, the entire physics of motion just changes completely. We're not just looking at rules of the road. We need to unpack the key mechanical dangers that pop up. Things like the sudden, really violent onset of trailer sway, the huge increase in your stopping distances, and those completely counterintuitive moves you have to make when you say, try to back up.
Okay, let's unpack that and jump right into the deep end.
Yeah.
If you ask any driver what the scariest, most unpredictable danger of towing is, they'll always say fishtailing. Or, trailer sway. It's when the trailer just starts moving side to side, almost like it has a mind of its own. What's the foundational cause of that?
Well, the single largest factor, and the one you can actually control, is improper weight distribution.
Okay.
We see this mistake happen all the time. If the load's center of gravity is, say, directly over the axle, or even worse, too much weight is in the back of the trailer. That trailer just loses its resistance to side movement. It's immediately prone to swaying.
So you have to artificially shift that center of gravity forward to keep the rig tracking straight.
Precisely. And that brings us to the golden rule of loading. This is non-negotiable. To prevent sway, you have to make sure the load is even from side to side, but crucially, about 60% of the entire weight must be in the front half of the trailer.
That 60% rule, it sounds simple, but what is it actually doing mechanically?
That forward weight creates what we call tongue weight. It's the downward pressure on the hitch ball, and it acts as a leverage point. It actively resists the trailer's tendency to swing sideways and keeps the whole unit tracking straight.
It's not enough tongue weight.
And the trailer basically becomes a pendulum, just waiting for a push to start swinging.
But even a perfectly balanced rig can get destabilized, right?
Yeah.
By things out of your control. What are the common external triggers?
High speeds, without a doubt. The faster you go, the worse it can be. But the most alarming triggers are sudden air dynamics. Think about a strong, gusting crosswind, or the giant pocket of turbulence you get when a big semi-truck blows past you. Yeah. That sudden push can induce sway, even if your load was, perfectly placed.
And if that sway gets out of hand, that's when you run into really terrifying dangers. Jackknifing is the word everyone dreads.
Jackknifing is what happens when that instability, often combined with a driver's sudden reaction, causes the trailer to swing out violently to the side, forming that V shape. It often happens because a driver panics and slams on the tow vehicle's brakes.
Oh, right.
That can lock up the trailer's wheels, especially on wet roads, and it just slides out.
And what about the cargo itself? We talk about distribution, but what if the load shifts while you're driving?
That's a huge risk. A load that looks secure when you're parked can be a major hazard once you're moving. If your cargo slides back, suddenly your 60% rule is gone, the center of gravity moves, and the whole rig is unstable.
So your tie-downs have to resist all those forces.
Acceleration, braking, turning, all of it.
And I imagine the trailer tires are under immense stress, too.
Absolutely. They are far more susceptible to a blowout or, even losing a wheel than the tires on your truck. It's often due to the heavy load, underinflation, or just poor maintenance. They need to be checked constantly.
Okay, so let's go to that moment. The fishtail starts. You get that stomach-dropping side-to-side motion.
Right.
What is the immediate life-saving response?
First and most important, stay calm. Avoid panic steering. Your instinct is to brake, but you must not brake suddenly with the tow vehicle.
That's the worst thing you can do.
It will make the sway worse and could easily cause a jackknife. Instead, you just gently ease your foot off the accelerator, let the natural drag of the rig slow you down, and hold the steering wheel as steady as you can. No sharp corrections.
I've heard this fascinating, almost counterintuitive tip about using the trailer's own brakes to stop the sway. Is that a real thing?
That's the most reliable trick in the book, but only if your trailer has electric brakes and a manual controller in the cab. You gently squeeze that manual override. You're applying only the trailer brakes. What that does is it creates tension. It pulls the trailer straight behind the tow vehicle and actively dampens the sway. It's an amazing fix.
That response strategy is just critical knowledge. Okay, let's move from managing danger to preventing it. The pre-trip checklist. Before you even turn the key, what's essential?
The absolute foundation is understanding your vehicle's capacity and its compatibility with the trailer. You have to check your owner's manual for 3 key numbers: max towing capacity, the gross vehicle weight rating, or GVWR, and the gross combined weight rating, GCWR.
Okay, those acronyms, GVWR and GCWR, they sound like really important legal limits. What are they exactly?
They are critical. GVWR is the max weight your vehicle itself can be. That includes the truck, fuel, you, your passengers, and the ton weight of the trailer pushing down on it.
And GCWR.
That's the gross combined weight rating. It's the absolute maximum weight of your loaded truck plus your loaded trailer. If you exceed that, your engine, your transmission, your brakes, they just aren't designed to handle that much mass.
So you can't just assume any SUV or pickup can tow. It needs to be built for it.
Absolutely. Proper tow vehicles have stronger frames, heavy-duty transmissions, better cooling systems. They're built for that stress.
And once you know the vehicle can handle it, the physical connection is paramount. Hitch class matters.
It matters a great deal. A small Class I hitch is for light loads, maybe up to 2,000 pounds. But if you're pulling a decent-sized camper, you need a Class 3, 4, or 5 rated for much, much more. Using an undersized hitch is just negligent.
Then you have the safety chains. It seems obvious, but there's a very specific way they should be used.
Yes, always use 2 chains, but the critical part is you have to cross the chains underneath the hitch.
Okay, why cross them?
It's the ultimate failsafe. If the main hitch fails, the crossed chains form a kind of cradle. It catches the trailer tongue and stops it from digging into the pavement at 60 miles an hour, which would mean, an immediate loss of all control.
That's brilliant. Just a simple, smart bit of emergency engineering. So after the mechanicals, we move to systems, lights and brakes.
You have to check that all your trailer lights brake, turn signals are working and synced up before every single trip, and brakes. If your trailer weighs more than, say, a couple thousand pounds, and this varies by state, it legally needs its own brakes. And you have to test them. Adjust the controller in your cab so they're working with your truck's brakes, not against them.
And let's circle back to maintenance and those super stressed tires.
Tire pressure.
Yeah.
Check it on both the vehicle and the trailer when the tires are cold. Proper pressure is what maintains the tire's structure under load. It's your best defense against a blowout. And finally, a word on clearance. If you're towing something tall, like a piece of equipment, measure the height. Write it down. You have to be able to check bridge clearance signs instantly. Ignoring that is, well, a recipe for disaster.
Okay, we've prepped the rig, we're on the road. This is where your driving habits have to change completely. You're now managing something that's actively working against your control.
It demands a whole new level of defensive driving. First off, speed. So many people just drive too fast. You have to slow down and dramatically increase your following distance. The extra weight can easily double or triple your normal stopping distance.
So you need more space.
At least 4 seconds. More if the weather's bad. And second, all your inputs have to be smooth. Think like you're driving a boat, not a sports car. No sudden stops, no sudden starts, no jerky turns. Everything has to be gradual to keep the trailer stable.
Turning itself is a huge challenge. The trailer doesn't follow the same path as your truck.
That's where drivers get into trouble. The trailer has a much wider turning radius because its wheels trek inside your vehicle's wheels, so you have to start your turn wider. You swing out a little to make sure the trailer doesn't cut the corner and hit a curb or a signpost.
What about hills? Managing grade.
That requires some specific gear management. When you're climbing a hill, shift to a lower gear. That keeps your power up and prevents the engine and transmission from overheating.
And going downhill is even more critical for safety because of the brakes.
Absolutely. On a long downhill, you must shift to a lower gear to use engine braking. This is so important. It lets the engine's compression help slow the whole rig down. You're not just riding the friction brakes, which can overheat and fail. That's called brake fade, and it's incredibly dangerous.
Now let's talk about the single most stressful part for new towers, backing up.
Ah, yes, backing up. It is famously difficult because it's completely counterintuitive. Your brain says, turn the wheel left to go left, but if you do that, the trailer will swing to the right.
That mental flip is just so hard to do under pressure, like at a crowded boat ramp. Is there a trick to make it easier?
There is a fantastic, universally taught steering tip. Place your hands at the very bottom of the steering wheel, the 6 o'clock position.
Okay. at the bottom.
Now, you just move your hands in the direction you want the back end of the trailer to go. Hands left, trailer goes left. Hands right, trailer goes right. It just simplifies the whole process.
That actually makes sense. It bypasses the confusion.
Exactly. And when you're doing it, go slow. So slow. Make tiny, gradual adjustments. Overcorrection is the enemy. And of course, always use a spotter if you can't see perfectly.
And a quick word for the rest of us who are just sharing the road with people towing. What should we look out for?
Be very aware during lane changes. A towing driver might accidentally cut you off because they misjudged the huge gap their trailer needs.
Right. Don't hang out in their blind spot.
Never. And for your own safety, just always have in the back of your mind the rare but catastrophic possibility that a trailer could detach. Keeping your distance gives you that vital reaction time.
So trailers aren't all created equal. You have everything from a little U-Haul to these massive commercial rigs. How do the different designs affect the actual towing mechanics?
The variety is huge, and the design completely dictates the dynamics. In the commercial world, you have standard dry vans or refrigerated trailers or reefers, which are much more complex. Then you get into heavy-duty specialty stuff. Lowboy trailers, for instance, they have a very low deck, which is perfect for hauling haul machinery like excavators under bridges. They get their stability from a really low center of gravity.
And we often hear that gooseneck and fifth-wheel trailers are way more stable than a standard ball hitch. Why is that?
That's a key insight. Gooseneck and fifth-wheel trailers don't attach at the bumper. They attach to a special hitch located directly in the truck bed right over the rear axle.
Oh, okay.
By moving that pivot point forward, you get much higher weight capacity and, more importantly, vastly superior stability. You pretty much eliminate that pendulum effect. The load feels less like something you're pulling and more like something the truck is carrying.
That makes perfect sense. The forces are just managed better. Okay, so we've covered the mechanical risks, the preparation. Let's do a final check on the crucial legal stuff. What can get a driver in trouble besides an accident?
Licensing. It's often overlooked. Towing very large or heavy trailers, especially if your combined weight gets really high, might require a special endorsement on your license. Or even a full commercial driver's license, a CDL. It often kicks in around that 26,000-pound combined weight mark.
And ignorance of the law is no excuse.
Not at all. And as we mentioned, brake systems are legally required over a certain weight. You must have them, and you must have a working controller for them in the cab.
And finally, that critical visibility component.
Visibility is a legal must. You have to be able to see clearly down both sides of your trailer. If your standard mirrors don't cut it, you are legally required to install extended towing mirrors. You can't just guess what's back there.
This has been an incredibly deep dive. We've covered everything from the physics of weight distribution all the way down to the legal paperwork.
I think the main takeaway is that safe towing is all about preparation, not luck. You have to confirm your vehicle's capacity, you have to load it right with that 60% rule, and you have to use smooth, controlled driving inputs. And just remember that trailer accidents are, overwhelmingly caused by two things. Inadequate maintenance tires and brakes, especially, and human error, usually a lack of experience or a moment of distraction that leads to panic.
And those pre-trip inspections are the best defense.
The single best defense against disaster, absolutely.
So here's a final thought. Given that even a small mechanical failure or a sudden gust of wind can cause something like trailer sway, how does knowing the specific mechanism of sway, and more importantly, the fix for it, easing off the gas using the trailer brake, how does that knowledge change how you mentally prepare for even a short trip with a heavy load? Does that knowledge give you the confidence to anticipate and correct a problem before it escalates? Or
please like, subscribe, and get notified.